we're starting soon, and after I switched to my channel on Twitch. And yeah, invite some people, and then we can start. Now we will do sequence 3 today, and yeah, we'll see how this works out today. Loading screen, yay! So, okay, first things first, we have no money, I think, at the moment.
A letter arrived for you. I left it in your room.
Nope. In 2 minutes. But I need items. Oh. Sorry, ma'am.
Attention, son de Dieu. Il n'y en aura pas pour tout le monde. Il a abusé de toi. Ravi de t'accueillir.
Thank you. So, and I want to customize a little bit. Colors, yes. Nope. Okay. That looks nice.
Bonjour à vous, monsieur.
Okay, I think we have to go to Notre Dame, wasn't it?
Someone stop him!
Stay here! Don't run away! Oh no, first we have to do education. Yes, I remember. Yes, I want fast travel. That's the sequence with our first target, with our first assassination later, when we are going to Notre Dame. Oh, sorry.
You can't escape!
Once again! Didn't I kill you yesterday? Bad. Okay, now... Yes, now I received my income. Thank you very much. So, graduation.
What's the mission? The mission. Let's get your arse in position. Don't ask questions, piss pop.
I live to serve.
Yeah, we know. So, there's a guard, there's a guard, there's a guard. And we wait. Come on, turn away. Thank you.
Je suis conscient de la situation, mais je ne peux rien y changer. Je vous assure que je ne sais rien.
No one here.
Hey, someone there?
No, no one here.
Guess I missed him. Oh well.
You did.
Shouldn't have broken the law.
Oh! That was close. So, now... And that's one of the things for the 100%. At that point, that's really easy.
Lord Guillaume de Roussel has generously agreed to our price of 40%.
An act of desperation. What about the priest?
You'll come around.
Your confidence is infectious, Sivert. My boys will have the wagon ready.
Here are the details. Make sure it goes smoothly.
Of course. Make sure that it goes smoothly, cretin. When have I...
Murder! Murder!
These bastards always have bodyguards. Well...
Next time, do that before he starts screaming. Why do we hang about here when Sivert still lives? He killed Monsieur de la Serre.
Patience. Sever's not the target. Not today. Come on. Council's waiting for our report.
Yeah, of course.
Where'd he go? Stop that nonsense! Get down and die!
Nope.
Time to go.
Come on, old man. I'm faster than you. Are you coming?
Time to earn your cape.
Good boy.
Bonjour. Soyez le bien.
So. Now we can follow.
Particulièrement hideux. Viens, toi. Pousse à la barre.
What's going on?
But nothing a well-placed bit of steel can't fix. Il a tué. Bon sang. Garde.
No, you're not seeing anything.
Is there something I can do for you?
That was a cool moment.
Patriots. These imbeciles will pick a fight with anyone. Try not to draw their attention.
Shouldn't we stop them?
Stop them. Avoid them. Doesn't matter. There's always more fanatics. Can't save everyone, piss pot.
Well, there's a cheery thought.
Heads up, lads. Remy found Monsieur Apinon's body in a courtyard not far from here. Stabbed through the throat. Stop you right there! Spread out. Keep your eyes open. Je ne veux pas mourir. Pitié, ne me tuez pas. Je ferai n'importe quoi.
Come on, Belek.
Just trying not to strain your heart.
I'll still be running when you're dead.
Of course, monsieur.
Careful, Pistol. You'll hurt someone.
Hey, listen to me.
You call that a run?
You are! Get out of here right now!
Yes, I do. Because I'm mostly faster than you are.
Careful, Pistol. You'll hurt someone. Careful, Pistol. You'll hurt someone.
Yeah, faction fight. We know that.
I'll still be running when you're dead.
Yeah, I think I did keep up with Belek.
I can't believe this. We've not seen Siver for a year, and you're letting him walk. All because his name wasn't on a bloody piece of paper.
The timing's not right. Too many variables, too many loose threads.
And if we lose him again?
He'll be at Notre Dame tomorrow, if he keeps to the schedule we found.
You might have shared that earlier.
But then it weren't Belek.
You are well, citizen?
Shops.
So what
we
happens
already
next?
know.
We take this ledger full of Templar records to Mirabeau. Proceeds to do nothing with
Wasn't
it.
us.
So nice.
Templars have been
don't
killing each
seem
other like
terribly
it was
fond
going
of
out of
him.
fashion since '89.
He's a politician. Sees himself as a great peacemaker.
Things, or make our lives
Thinks he can end the war between assassins and Templars, bring the revolution to a happy conclusion, and convince dogs and cats to live together in peace.
And that's bad?
It's a self-aggrandizing pipe dream. The Templars are at their weakest since Jacques de Molay burned. We're running around after second-rate smugglers. All because Mirabeau wants to secure his legacy.
Monsieur de la Serre believed a truce was possible.
And look where it got him.
Very nice.
Well, the customs agents of France can rest easy. Arpinot's dead.
Shaking down imprisoned nobles seems a bit out of his oeuvre. What are the Templars up to?
If we hadn't spent the last year hobbled by your damn truce, we might know that.
Here's a point, Honoré. The truce was with Grand Master de la Serre.
The man's been dead for 2 years. Whoever's in charge now, you can be certain they aren't sitting idle.
We might have learned more had we not allowed Siver to escape.
Siver was there?
I know your heart is set on keeping the peace, but bringing Monsieur de la Serre's killer to justice would count for something, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. But do not confuse your personal vendetta with a sound strategy.
If he wants to kill Templars, let him kill Templars. I've done all I can. Boys ready?
Very well. Assassin. I charge you to go to Notre-Dame de Paris and to find there the Templar agent, Charles Gabriel Siver. You will learn his secrets, and when you have done so, you will bring him peace in accordance with our tenets.
Yep. And yeah, I must say I really like the idea of an assassin council sending you out to contracts, and yeah, even that you have to come back and yeah, let them say yes, it's a target you can kill, and go on, and yeah, not that council in particular, except Mirabeau. I like Mirabeau a lot, but yeah, the idea I like very much, and I think in the time in which we are now traveling, I would like to say, yeah, it fits somehow. Yeah, not like with Ezio, but yeah, I think very nice. So now we have to kill our first target.
Oh no, Godspeed.
I think I need to know items. Yes, I do think right. So, which co-op? Food chain. Okay. But I think I will not do any co-op until I
Listen to me.
have my Phantom Blade.
Je ne suis pas un lâche. Mais dès lors que quelque chose ne me regarde pas.
Because, yeah, that tool is way too helpful in that mission. So I will wait until tomorrow, because tomorrow in the missions we are getting our Phantom Blade, and after that it makes more sense to attend a co-op mission. Oh, gosh damn it. Should anyone say you don't have latch catch? Okay, not in the way the most Assassin's Creed fans are familiar with, but in some kind of way you do have it. And yeah, sometimes he will say yes, okay, but in some other moments, no. So, confessions.
What's our plan?
Our plan. You're not an apprentice anymore, boy. So study your surroundings. Devise your own plan. I'm not here to hold your hand. No targets unreachable.
Out of the way. Move. Where the hell was Duchesneau? Oh,
If you can't find a weakness to exploit, make one.
You've secured the cathedral?
Oui, monsieur.
Good. Tell Siver I'll meet him inside.
Opportunities everywhere. It's on you to take it.
You! Get back here with my keys! Thieves!
And if all other plans fail, why not sacrifice yourself for the cause, your life for his? Before Altair, that was the Levantine approach.
You mean a dagger in broad daylight as I'm cut down where I stand?
Sends a powerful message.
I'll do it my way.
Whatever you think best, assassin.
Yep.
Did you see the expression on that fat old cleric's face?
Priceless. Turn the colour of an aubergine. Thought he'd faint with outrage.
Yeah, I know. It said steal, but way faster to do it that way. Okay, wait a sec. I need to... So, better.
Je suis prêt à tuer pour une niche de pain. Le peuple se soulève pour exiger le changement.
You've secured the cathedral?
Oui, Monsieur Duchesne. This is the only way in or out. We've paid off the guards.
Good. We're not in on dead. I don't want to take any chances. When Monsieur Siver arrives,
Okay.
tell him I've got to arrange matters with the priest. I'll join him inside.
Can I go that way? No, I can't.
Keep looking, that's not mine.
Les riches doivent payer leur part.
I can go that way. Yes. That was the right place. What? You're not speaking with the priest? Okay. And leave it here.
Ton serment, tu me fatigues.
Fast left, and because we have the keys, we can enter Notre Dame here.
Reverendissime Pater, postulat Sancta Mater Ecclesia Catholica, ut unc presentem presbyterem ad onus episcopatus sublevetis.
Credis Sanctam Catholicam et Apostolicam unam esse veram ecclesiam, in qua unum datur
One of my
verum
most
baptisma,
beloved places
vera
in Unity.
omnium remissio peccatorum.
Credo.
Look at this beauty.
Anathematizas etiam omnem heresim, extolentem se adversus anc sanctam ecclesiam catholicam.
Anathematizo.
Credis etiam mortens et vitam aeternam.
Credo.
No. Come on, Arno. Good boy.
Credis etiam novi et veteris testamenti.
There's our target.
Prophetarum et apostolorum umnum esse actorem Deum ac Dominum omnipotentem.
Credo.
Ec tibi fides augiato ad Domino ad veram et aeternam beatitudinem dilectissime frate in Christo.
And just get ranked.
Introibo ad altare Dei ad Deum qui letificat juventutem meam judica me Deus et
Everything's in place.
Finally saw recent, did he? What's our cut?
30%.
Good, good. This is our moment, my friend. Petty nobles are ripe enough fruits, but the church has been leeching off the people for centuries. If we crack their vaults, the Grand Master cannot fail to recognize our work.
As you say, monsieur.
Good. Now, if we're done here, I'll take my leave and wait for our holy friend to deliver the goods.
You're doing nothing, my friend.
Wait here. See that we're not disturbed.
Sévère.
Monsieur Latouche, I'm here to see the King of Beggars.
Come with me.
The intrigues of rats! Pompous fool, if I could lay my hands on him.
Well, what's so important you had to pull me away from my daughters?
You all right, monsieur? Too much of the king's champagne?
Sylvain, come away!
Et aduxerunt in montem sanctum tuum, et in tabernacula tua, adiutorium nostrum in nomine Domini, qui vegit celum et terra. Introibo ad altare ad Deum, vivificat juventutem meam, judica me Deus, scene causa meam, de gente non sancta. Omnia iniquo et coloso eureme, quia tu es Deus, fortitudo meo.
Come on. Thank you.
Jesus, Deacon, do you read? What the hell is that?
I'm here, Bishop. That's a server sweep. Abstergo's looking for you. And they're close.
Damn it. Can you open a server bridge?
Hey, come on, it's me. Already on it. Couple of seconds.
Initiate. We're opening a server bridge. Find the portal and pass through before the sweep finds you.
Got it. Go.
Do you see it? They're hard to miss. Jumping from one Helix server to another should buy you a few more hours. If it doesn't, we're screwed.
Well, we're not screwed. It's your initiate that gets the brunt.
Deacon, you're not helping.
I really like the two. I think, yeah, they're really funny. Well, I think they are funny, but yeah, like them. So now we have to switch the servers.
There it is. Go!
Because upstairs was living. Yeah, and the first time I was here in this Helix glitch or something like that, I thought, oh, okay, what should I do? Where do I run? What is it here? And yeah, but I think it's a fun way.
The signal's holding. Good. You're waiting outside the main simulation now. This will throw Abstergo off your trail for a while, but you'll also run into a lot of incomplete and corrupted code.
And yeah, from the server and computer side.
Which probably explains why the people here aren't quite here.
It's absolutely
Looks like the late 1800s. Now this is a Paris I wouldn't mind visiting. Maybe another time. Right now, you need to get to the exit portal. I can't see a path. I'm reading a route through the metro station ahead. Oh shit. This area is becoming unstable.
Okay, maybe now I can finish my sentence. Bishop, what do you think? Yeah, when you are a company with a server farm or something like that, like Abstergo probably have, yeah, you always behind hackers or something like that. Yeah, if you ever played Watch Dogs, you know what I mean. And yeah, so this sniffing tools are absolute reality. And yeah, but I think most of you are gamers as well, so they you absolutely know that that is the case. But yeah, I only try not to be so silent all the time. So yep, that way, Arno. As I played it on PC, I didn't had any control about the key bindings, and yeah, it was like, how the hell should I do this? Yeah.
There you are. And you found the exit. Good. It's an unstable vortex of energy, so there's no telling how it will disrupt the simulation.
I like how his code is flowing here. No. Can you go in cover? Thank you very much, my dear. How cool was that?
It looks like you'll have to climb Lady Liberty. She must have bled through from another time period. The French should have shipped her off to the States by now.
Probably.
Just get to the portal. I'll do what I can to stop it from closing. See you on the other side.
Thanks, Bishop. Yeah, very cool. I like that. The Eiffel Tower one I don't like as much as that, and yeah, the Bastille thing is, I think, the most cool one. Yeah, I think, yeah, that I could say that way. So now we are finished with the sequence, and yeah, I will do a little side content, but not as much as yesterday, because yeah, I think for an hour or two,
And we're back. Not everyone is so fortunate their first time through a bridge. Sometimes our initiates are trapped in the system, and we have no choice but to send someone like you in to rescue them. In fact, one of our initiates is caught in a Bellapox server right now. If you're not too exhausted, you can re-enter the bridge and rescue him. All right, back to work, initiate.
Running money, yes. Oh, good. Shop!
Bonjour, monsieur, et bienvenue.
Yeah, bienvenue. So, and I think we can upgrade our skills. No, sequence 5. I don't have a range weapon yet. It's in the next. And that is also sequence 5. And in have we won't investigate any. Yeah, but I think we have got a weapon, a new one. Let me see that. Yes, the round axe. So, because I'm a player who don't want to play with the axe, I will take a look. Is it in one-handed or in heavy? I think it is a heavy one. Yes. Pickaxe. Is it that one? Oh no, here. Okay, so it is a 3 diamond weapon. We are now have earned because we have played the mission, and yeah, because I don't want to use that axe or that weapon, I will take a look for something else what has a 3 diamond equivalent, I would like to say, and yeah, we'll use that one instead of the axe. Yeah, and I think okay, this is upgraded. I don't know why it is upgraded, but we will use that one. And I will take a look. Yeah, probably it has more damage and parry, but less speed and range. So yeah, I think it's similar, and yeah, we can do that. So we have a new weapon, and now we can do some side content. We will take a look on the map. Ugh. Yes, okay. Oh look, money. We can earn some money, and we can grab that cockade. Oh, it's on a high thingy. Okay. and we can go to the mission. And maybe on the way, yeah, I was just about to say that. Some crowd events, maybe. Come on, dearie, you can do that. Okay, is it already over? Yes, I think so. I think the police was faster than I am. Oh, it's up there. Okay. So we will climb that church. To get that cockade. And yeah, if you are collecting the cockades, you're getting schemes for yeah, color schemes, and we don't have a haystack here, don't we? No, I don't think so. And yeah, if you're collecting 100 cockades, you are getting a real cool color. It's black and gray, and yeah, it looks really, really cool, I think. And yeah, that's the reason why I, most of the time when I'm playing Unity, doing the cockade thingies again, because yeah, it's a real cool color. So, can I go through here? Yes, I can. Cool. Ah! Sorry, ma'am. Oh, I think that was one where I don't get any money. Oh, okay, money. That's cool. There's my target. And yeah, that are really cool small missions, mostly with kill someone, like this dude, or protect or steal or something like that, and they're really fast and really easy, and yeah, a cool way to earn some money. And yeah, so they are mostly the missions I'm finishing first, because yeah, they are so easy. Excuse me. So that one, and there's another one. And yeah, in the Paris districts you also have hidden cockades and chests, so you have two ways to collect them. First thing, you're running through the city with activated eagle vision, and the second way, you can buy a map
One less overzealous imbecile
with
for
all the locations. And yeah, but for that you need the Helix credits. And yeah, it's not really necessary. It makes the life a little bit easier. But yeah, in my first playthrough I didn't use the Helix credit map at all, and yeah, it's sometimes a little bit tricky, but I thought it was a nice thing to do, and yeah, so you have something more you can do. And because I like parkour in Unity so much, it was most of the time really fun, and it's very satisfactory. No, I think that's wrong. Yeah. If you find a chest that was hidden, and it's yeah, a little exciting.
Hey, you need to calm down. Answer the bloody question. Huh? You look like a royalist.
Bloody
With your
royalist.
fancy.
No, sir. Sorry. So, viewpoint. Because when we have the viewpoint, we can open a new social club, I think. Excuse me, sorry. What nice flowers here. Do I have a way to get there? Can I jump? Yes, I can! Yeah, no. Up, Arno. Up is good. Come on. Yep. Ah, Paris and sunshine. New fast travel, and okay, there's a club. We can travel later and look if I can afford this. And oh yeah, I want to do the Bastille viewpoint. Yes. No, not synchronize. Yes, thank you. But I think it was somewhere here, combine the viewpoint with the mission. I hope I can find it. Because there is a Paris story. I can try to find it in the progress trigger. There it is.
Jetez-les sous la charrette!
Nous savons que vous êtes d'une manière ou d'une autre. Notre poids sera entendu.
Pourrez-vous pas fuir? Battez-les votre tête!
Because I don't have opened the map, I can't.
Nous savons que vous êtes là.
track mission.
Seigneur, pourquoi tant d'agitation? Oh.
Ah, there it is.
Ah, hello. Could I have your ear for a moment?
No, it isn't.
Nous avions posé à deux si vous voulez bien nous dire. Qu'est-ce que je vais dire à monsieur? C'est moi qui devrais faire attention à midi. Je parle pour moi. Je suis jamais là. Même plus raison.
Here now, want to talk to you?
What do you want then? Who's sorry?
What's all that then?
Nope, not in my district.
Discrètement, mais sans tarder.
Is it that one? Yes, I think it was that one.
Tu sembles être un honnête homme.
Ta!
Years ago, when I escaped from the Bastille, I left behind the rope ladder I fashioned from twine and firewood. It's famous now, but the Bastille's guarded because of the looting. Could you, citizen, retrieve my rope and bring it back? It's somewhere in that vast edifice. You'll have to get the location from the quartermaster.
Of course we can.
Huh? What's going on?
Ah yes, we have to steal something from the dude up there.
Vous n'ignorez pas que je suis pas mariée.
From him.
Il ne leur faut même plus de raison.
But we are waiting until... No, that's too long for us.
Goûtu et très corsé, mais il réchauffe le corps. Comportez-vous comme un gentilhomme, au moins.
That's odd.
Oh, nothing odd. Come on, move.
I need a drink.
Allez-vous-en,
C'est le monde à l'envers. Nous avions tout. Comment a-t-on pu en arriver là? Toi, l'endécasyllabe. Et même pas l'endécasyllabe. Toi, tu vas changer de
Hold a moment.
Moderate scum! You're a joke, dog!
And we're out. And we have to go that way. Yes, vanish. And now... Can we? Let's try that. Yeah, we can. That's cool. Hey, I killed your buddy. No? Okay. Okay, here. So... and retrieve this. And yes, we probably have to leave, but we want to have the viewpoint. here? Is here anybody? No. But it is. Is it helpful? Yes, I think so. Aye, okay. Ah, that way. So, now, viewpoint. There it is. No, there it is. Okay. That was an easy one. Hey, Treviso. Finally home. Did you get all the things you needed? Okay. Now.
Come here, you maggot!
Okay. Hello. You didn't get everything you wanted because it was sold out. Yeah, but that's better the way I did my grocery last. I did go to the market and bought everything else, and just a moment as I entered my flat, I remembered, oh, you bought everything except the one thing you initially thought you have to go to a grocery. I forgot the butter. So, memory complete. Shop? Yes. Now I want to shop. Yeah. That is nice to know that I'm not the only one who's happening that kind of stuff. Not on the chair. Ah no. Damn it. Hopefully you don't remember something crucial tomorrow. Yeah, but you can lay your hand into fire that if you are remembering it, it will be tomorrow and not now. It's always that way. So, what is this? Oh, I think I can do that. Too late now anyway. Oh, what about gas station?
Where are the valuables?
Je vais aller rendre visite à ma tante Anne. Nous avions...
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Pierre Beaumarchais, playwright, diplomat, and bon vivant. I'm told you can help me. The public censors are oppressing new plays, including
Look,
one
the
of
drinking
mine.
and talking guy again.
They've paid a critic to give it a bad review, and are planning to censor the production itself. Could you steal the review before it goes to press, and then, suppress the censors?
Oh, and Trev, I talked to Leo early on before he's leaving to work, and yeah, I said to him, because he was thinking, oh, no one will be there to see my stream, so I just do the main missions and then load it up, and so and I was like, I think Trev will do a little bit of sleep in front, and then we'll wake up to watch your stream. He's a freaking fan. And yeah. And I said to Leo, yeah, you don't think that you're getting away with that so easily to just do the main missions, so okay, was it? I think it was a guy in here, if I remember that right. Wasn't it?
Mesdames, vous êtes de viles tentatrices et dégredines.
Oh, there he
La
is.
pugnacité est à dure épreuve.
People love to read a bad review. This one will sink Beaumarchais for good, and I haven't even seen the play.
Okay. Where are you walking?
Avec laquelle il traite tout un chacun, on est constamment
Encore un évadé de 17.
interrogé sur nos sympathies.
n'ose de
Quelle
guerre.
arrogance!
See anyone who can see me? No.
Ce n'est pas improbable, notez.
Pourquoi se cache-t-il ainsi?
Les gens du commun résistent mal à leurs instincts.
Hello.
Seigneur, j'espère que je ne le connais pas.
To my building and threaten me.
Réglé sur l'heure. Loin d'ici, très loin.
As easy as stealing a kid a lolly.
Ce sac à vin me fait perdre mon temps.
Am I finished? No, I'm not.
Lâchez donc cette mégère à la libre velue. Venez plutôt vous divertir en ma compagnie.
Il conduit plus d'un malade.
No, I don't want your chest. Ah.
Même satisfaire votre curiosité.
Oh yeah, I remember. Is this a chest I can... No. I think the guy was in that house, wasn't it?
You got this coming then.
No, okay.
Where did he... Ah, sod it.
No one's seeing me.
Better get back.
Hello, kitty. Okay, no.
What was that? Here.
That's not working at all.
Oh. Something's going on. Anti-revolutionary!
No, you're not.
There you are! Wait a minute! You can't hide, maggot!
Where's the last one? Oh, that's so nice from you.
You're mine! Stop them!
Ouch! Ouch!
Flank him! Get him off balance!
This! Oh, that looks really painful. Okay, I think that one Leo did better than I did. But yeah. Can't go every time as well as I hope for. Can I walk out of here? Yeah.
Molière.
Il y a une révolution?
Get the hell out of my bleeding face!
What?
You can't...
Oh, damn it!
Where's the damn smoke?
A word, brother?
No. You mean from the one brood where I was running? Yeah, I know. But sometimes it worked. It works. Working. Ah, you know what I mean. I think I should commentary in German. Should be much more easier.
Vous, monsieur, n'êtes rien d'autre que malotru.
Thank you, Teresa. I know I can count on you and your English experience. So, I have a club there I can open. Do I have a fast travel here? And I would like to open the temple. No, not really, but if I get running through the city, I can... Oh, I think I go to here, and then... Yes, that's the plan. Loading screen.
Un autre client bientôt satisfait.
I like Paris and sunshine.
He stole that from me! Get it back! My hope is to bless this pendant.
Paid for me!
Il est resté
I'm
longtemps
out.
à la taverne.
Goodbye. Didn't done anything.
Oh, qu'est-ce qui se passe?
Alors, il n'y en aura pas pour tout le monde. Oui, monsieur, pour quelle quantité?
Hey! You want some fun? I'll happily cut your innards out to play with.
Uh-huh.
On n'aura pas pour tout le monde. Alors, oui, on n'aura pas pour tout le monde, monsieur.
No. No co-op today. Where is this? Yeah, I know. Unspent sync points. After sequence 5. Ugh, it's only... Okay, we are here, so...
I've heard you turn royalist.
Think whatever you want, citizen.
What right?
Encore un disciple de Cagliostro et son élément.
I think it's protecting? Yes.
I'll get you right in.
So... That's all? Yes.
D'accord, à l'aide! Quelqu'un! Garde par ici! Quelqu'un est mort!
Yeah, yeah. It's okay.
I'll lose no sleep over you, but rest in peace anyway.
Sleep well.
What's all the fuss about?
Here was a chest. I did saw that. Somewhere there is it. Can I go here and down? I think so. Yeah. Arno and letters. We are not friends. Oh, it's okay. Ugh. Excuse me. Ugh. That should. Oops. Why can't you see the lockpick thing? Yeah, but I like the blue missions because they are easy and you're getting quick money. Yeah, that's because I like these missions. And I think that are the missions that I probably
You a royalist? What do you want, eh?
doing in every playthrough to 100% because they are so easy. Yeah, I downloaded the companion app after my first time I played the game, and
Come here! I'll squash you like the bloody maggot you are!
Ah, leave me alone. Thank you. And yeah, I think in the companion app it was like it took hours and hours to finish these missions, and ugh. Yeah.
Des fariboles. Démontrez, oui. Parfaitement, monsieur le juge. Elles sont toutes comme ça. Oh no. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
You will suffer. Off with
Faster than you.
What's happening?
Nothing.
Allez chercher la garde. Il y a un corps ici. Oh Seigneur, mais c'est un cadavre.
Huh? What's going on?
Nothing. All good. So now viewpoint.
Oh, oh, merci. C'est un beau geste, assurément.
I think so. Can I?
Je suis sûr qu'il t'écoutera avec attention pendant que ça sert.
Tu cherches les...
J'espère qu'il n'est pas sujet au vertige.
Always so many of these dudes here. Let me guess, I'm running in the wrong direction.
C'est une espèce de jeu. Je vois presque plus rien. Et comment peut-on accepter qu'on laisse ainsi de telles bêtes sauvages en liberté?
Monseigneur, lâchez donc cette mégère dans la vie velue. Venez plutôt vous divertir en ma compagnie. Vous verrez, je ne suis pas farouche.
Where am I? Oh, I know. Nope. Really? Come on. Come on. Oh, damn it. Aha. Mm-hmm. Oh! I hate this. Sometimes, sweetie. No. Finally. No, you don't, but it's a little bit tricky to, yeah, as you saw, to find the right spot. I don't know if it is a glitch, Treviso. I sometimes have the impression that that the climbing things in when you're playing on PC are not as fluid as on the consoles. But on the other hand, it is more. You have. I have the feeling I have more control over my parkour. On the consoles, it's mostly like, yeah, you push the stick forward and press your button, and he's doing all alone. And yeah, most of the time on the PC, I don't have that impression as intense as on the consoles. So it's good and bad. I would like to say. So yes, I will do this mission and then that chest and then that club. Yes, that's the plan.
J'espère que tu sais ce que tu fais. Ce qui est rare et bon et cher, l'affaire est coûteuse.
Le pain.
Parlez qu'il a bu.
Quoi d'autre?
Target. There.
C'est révolutionnaire.
On dirait qu'il se passe quelque chose.
Oh, something to steal. Okay. Oh,
hey.
You saw me. Sorry. Ah, that was easy.
Seigneur, mais que se passe-t-il donc?
I was by your tower last night. I decided I don't.
No. Not then when I'm around here.
L'odeur des rues doit être moins forte là-haut.
Madame, entend se munir d'une fourche et...
Ça passe à Gazette. Vous aurez appris les dernières nouvelles avant tout le monde dans la Gazette.
Vous êtes bien aimable, merci beaucoup. C'est naturel. Encore merci. C'en est trop, je m'en vais. J'ai ouï dire qu'à la cour, les choses... Science, l'ami.
Allons, gentilhomme. Ne vous faites pas
Eh oui,
Let's go.
Nous ne serions point là sans lui.
Souris avec.
Hello, Chess. Ugh. Who needs that? No one needs that. 5,000 francs. Okay, how many money do I have? Okay. How much money? Not how many. Yeah, I know that my Café Theatre chest is full. I know. Thank you, Trev. But if I remember right, this cafe had some cool missions.
Marcher ne lui suffit donc pas.
Just take a look. I think that was one of the missions Leo did yesterday. Okay, let's do that. Ouch.
Les animaux étaient plus poudrés qu'à la ménagerie. Voilà tout, c'est bien ça.
Ferions point là sans lui. Quel mouvement du génie humain que ce...
Madame de Morgueil se
Je vous souhaite la bienvenue.
And shop. Very nice.
You're holding out on me. It's your building. You know who the trouble... I'm not...
Jesus. Yeah, I could do that, but my mission is... Okay. Yeah. Okay. I know you only want that I earning more and more money. I really appreciate that, Teresa. So, now, picking up money, just for Teresa.
A letter arrived for you. I left it in your room.
So, now in what direction there? Okay.
Hey, that's mine.
Ah.
Someone.
But if I remember right, it was a chest, wasn't it? Ha. Oh god, that's spooky. Come on, there are only people standing there.
Non, j'avais épousé Thérèse. Ici pour votre service. Non, celui-ci est une pièce unique, monsieur. Attention, c'est fragile.
Sorry. Look, I'm a good girl. I'm listening to you, not like Leo.
Let me through. He needs to pay me my take.
Stuff it up your ass.
Ah! Nom de Dieu! Oh
Pourquoi y a personne?
Allez
C'est dans
chercher
le
la
coffre.
garde! Vous feriez mieux de vous laisser ici.
Restez à votre place. Cependant, je n'ai pas beaucoup de temps à vous consacrer aujourd'hui.
Oh.
Encore un disciple de Cagliostro chassant les démons.
Attending over roof, always a good idea in Unity. Damn, I don't have a phantom blade. many people here? Is it a good choice to do? I don't think the gunner turns around.
Jesus, what's making all that smoke?
Oh, that comes in handy. Woohoo!
What the hell? There's Jesus. What's making all that smoke?
What?
I don't know much about art. I know what I like.
We'll cut you down and turn you off!
No! Die!
Right behind you. Oh, hell, that's not good. I love a good hunt.
Okay, is that a chest I can grab? I don't think so. Oh, okay. Yeah, I love that too, Treviso. It's so cool.
You're mine. You can't hide. Jesus.
Come on.
Think you can lose me? Ha! Shit. Better keep my eyes open.
Oh, more dudes.
Christ! Oh, focus. Focus.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Gunners have to die. Is that an exit? Yes, it is an exit. Can I throw smoke? Yes, I can. Nice stuff.
Étrange manière de faire de l'exercice.
Seulement que je vais prendre de bien. Je ne vends pas tout.
Woohoo!
Raison à faire, moi. Vous savez que Dieu, une fois que certains ont goûté à la violence.
So, now... What about going here? And traveling there. I have a shop here. Ah, okay, there. Yeah, it's the only thing I miss in my new upgrade light version is that you are not getting a new belt through the story.
I have a mission for you.
Yeah. Where's this thing? Oh, there. I can't live with only 5 smoke bombs.
Ah,
bonjour, citoyen.
So... Ah, the unclimbable Hollow Black.
What are you doing? Did you see that?
Diable petit, c'est assez n'importe.
Oh look, parkour starter. You lost the stream? Okay. No, for me I think it's okay. Try to refresh your browser or something. Just a sec. I have to check if my stream is already online.
Dich überrascht nicht das Geräusch. I don't know why Treviso has problems with the stream. I think it's... Oh, maybe it's his internet. Okay, so... No, not synchronized. Oh, damn. So now, thank you.
Bonjour à vous.
But I think I was shopping. Yes.
Tu te trompes, citoyenne.
Okay, so that.
Les avenues du pouvoir et les drames que j'y ai vu se nouer n'ont rien de rassurant. Je vous souhaite la bienvenue.
So, hopefully
Je ne sais pas trop quoi en penser.
On voit presque plus rien.
Then we are
Pourquoi ce
doing
revirement
one of the little cutie missions here.
Sur Pedro et Marie.
Sorry.
Regarde pas, les choses vont mal tourner.
Oh.
À quelle horreur, mon Dieu. La Bastille, on prendra le reste. Mais tout ça, c'est de la viande. Bon, les fous du pouvoir. C'est tout de même particulièrement hideux. Regardez-les comme ils sont fiers. C'est tout de même particulièrement hideux.
Yeah. Easy. Yeah, a few point.
Viens, toi. Posons ça là-bas. Et ça.
Hey, si.
Stop right there!
Nope.
Trying to mess it in the right man. You horse son!
Kill the criminals. Okay.
Push me around. I won't tell you anything. Merci. Merci.
De rien. Yeah, new assassin rank. I like this. New fast travel. So, no, not synchronize. Walk. I only want to do a leap of faith, please. Thank you.
Well, if it isn't the best barkeep in town, I don't owe you anything. He needs to pay me my take.
Les habitants de ces...
J'ai assez d'ennuis pour encore chercher de nouveau.
Hey! Robbie was defeated. 2,500 livres. And now we have to kill someone.
Tuez-les tous jusqu'au dernier.
Can I go through here? No. But I can go through here.
Où il pourrait faire remonter sa famille à Saint-Louis. Mais comment peut-on accepter qu'on laisse ainsi de telles bêtes sauvages en liberté? Tout cela fait peur. Qui se préoccupe de nous? Je vous le demande. Je ne parle pas de vous deux. Vous formez. Je parle pour moi.
Done.
Le mien aussi.
So. So close, I should grab that.
Et le voilà qui déguerpit, comme je vous dis.
Bien. Comprenons bien. Je ne parle pas de vous deux.
Thank you. going to that chest, and then to the club, and then to the last viewpoint here. On this side of the map. Okay, there's the rope. Come on, you can do that. Oh, ouchie.
Whoa! Come back here!
No.
Il faut se battre et gagne-nous.
Arrête donc de bousculer les...
On devrait m'inquiéter.
Ah, it's the Pelletier location. So,
Réduisez-les en néant, croyez.
now we will take a look on this club.
Nous pouvons faire régner la terreur. Nous sommes
Faites-en de la purée.
And how expensive it is.
Les coupables doivent payer! You're holding out on me? It's your building!
They're coming to my...
J'avais oublié cet engagement.
Alors que nous réservons aux enfants du travail pour nos filles. Et si vous levez, bande de là, si vous levez, bande
La bienvenue,
Oh,
monsieur.
shop!
Et vous?
Regardez-moi les valets de l'oppression.
And I think let's take just let me take a look. Colors. No, 10,000 points. Nah. Okay.
Bienvenue.
Here, brother.
Ah, yes. That should do just nicely. So, then just let me take a look on the missions. Come on, hop in. Ooh, 4 diamond mission, no. Ooh, no. Assassinate the firebrand who advocates political execution. Okay, I'll try that. Under a political faction, the Girondists have been executed. Visit retribution on Andre Guzman, an expressionally effective purveyor of hatred against the members of the Girondist faction. Guzman is often to be found inciting the crowd in the Louvre Gardens. Okay. Okay. Now we will take a look.
really think I'd come alone, did you?
Once you fled to the colonies, you really should have.
Garde à l'aide! Il y a un meurtrier ici!
Ah, stop yelling.
Je veux juste m'en aller. Ne me faites pas de mal. Laissez-moi partir.
Oh, merci. Dieu vous le rendra.
Yeah, you're welcome. Oh, I think I remember that mission.
Hello.
Bring it here, let's have some thoughts. You can't pass. Now go away.
Okay.
You've been holding out on us. Look at this.
I told you everything I knew.
So, the police is watching over him.
Mais ce n'est pas pour moi.
Eh bien, garde! Vite, à l'aide!
Yeah.
What's your... Comptez sur
Nothing.
nous.
Restez bien giron de la gueuse. Autrement plus que ma
Je suis
légitime.
sûre que tu dis ça à toutes les pauvres filles comme moi. Encore un évadé de Bicêtre.
Laissez-moi partir. Je suis une bonne âme, je jure.
Ouch! Damn it! Yeah, Treviso's back! Woo! Just in time to see me die.
Go away, pest.
Mais ce n'est pas pour moi, enfin.
Pourtant, je vous imagine bien la bague au doigt.
That's annoying.
They called themselves moderate, but the Girondists were never moderate, my friends. I ask you, where is the moderation in calling for war? War!
Well said, mon ami.
They wanted war and...
Ah, damn. Nope. I'm out.
I see ya.
No, you don't.
Listen up, pay me this instant. My patience,
Try that again, and I'll leave you to rot in a dungeon till your bones are dust. I didn't have nothing.
That's not good. Are they far enough? No, I don't think so.
Hey, wait a minute.
Ha! You're mine.
Slowly for that.
Where am
You must.
Oh, damn it!
I've got you. No escape for you. Just
Ouch.
What is he? Bloody
J'aurais pu me retrouver estropié.
No.
Oui, c'est vrai.
Okay, I think I need a shop. What? No, 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 no. You're not shooting at me. Ah, damn it.
This shame.
Oh, this is a 5-star. Ouch!
That's it.
Damn it! Yeah, that was a broken cover. Okay, first things first. Shop. Okay, going complete.
Plantez les wooden pig.
Completely.
Non,
That way.
allez, tu peux y arriver.
Il a conscience, crois-moi.
And I think down here somewhere.
Hey now! Come back here, you thief! Thief! Thief!
Je parle pour moi.
No time, lady. Sorry.
Un nouveau client. Fort bien.
I can do this. I know that.
Jeune homme, qu'en pensez-vous? Madame!
Lâchez donc cette mégère à la limite. Je vais dire ça de se divertir en ma compagnie.
Quelqu'un doit payer.
Not getting through. Is that your best? Yeah, you got something to say? I'll stop you inside. He won't escape.
They see me here?
Don't you try to pull the wool over my eyes. What you planning, royalist? You sure you want to do that? You really want to piss off the man with a pair of yards? I come back, you better be...
Damn it. That's not cool.
You now.
No, you don't.
You can't escape, citizen.
And again. This little trick.
You're running. I know you, dog.
Nope, they can't get inside here. Oh, that's cool. So, but now we should wait until all of these attraction is gone away. All three factions are standing there.
How you like to be his next customer?
Running out of knives, you bastard!
Right, bloody hell. Don't make me angry, citizen. Listen back to whatever village is missing. Keep looking, that's not mine.
Go away, pest! What?
Garde ne vont pas tarder à te remettre dans ta cellule.
Keep running.
Are they now fighting each other? I hope that it works.
I'll scrape every last one of your kind off my boots.
Oops.
Hey!
Right there.
That's some disappearing now.
It's not reaching far enough. Okay. Oh.
Something's going on. You're a dead man, renegade! No escape!
That works.
Your time is up! You're flying! Clear off, tramp! Stop! Face justice like a man! Aha! There! Stand and fight! Be a man!
Nope.
You're mine!
I'm out.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais? Vas-y!
Done! Whew. I think on the last... No, not on the last medicine. Okay. So, chop! Yeah, that was my fault too. That in the whole chaos I can simply, yeah, jump in there and kill him. And yeah, fought right.
N'abandonne pas!
Sometimes you don't have to kill them all. So,
et les lois. Autrement dit,
do we have another club we can open? Yes, here is one.
« 25 ans, payer un impôt égal à 3 journées de travail. »
Run and parkour. I don't like to tackle thieves. It's boring.
Stop him! Where's he gone?
Des activités subversives.
That was smooth. I like it. Ropes. So helpful.
Mort à tous les ennemis de la liberté.
I think that social club was really expensive. I don't know for sure, but I think so. Come on, there's a haystack. Come on. A woman has never enough money. But yeah, most of the time I spend my money for better equip, and yeah, I don't have to do this.
Du fond du cœur, merci. Je prierai pour vous.
I need the money only to buy items.
À sa place, je réponds.
What?
Dancing away? Why? I only want to cage you, bloody idiot. Shift your ass here.
Next time, think about it. Oh, what should you cost? 10,000 francs! Okay. No, it was 10,000, not 1,000. 1,000? Really? Was it 10,000? Oh, no, it was 1,000. Okay, I didn't say anything. Yeah, okay. Treviso, you were right. I didn't say anything. Okay, so we can take a look.
There's only 2 ways this goes. Blood of cowards. Be smart about this talk. I'm not giving you a thing.
Not in front of one of my social clubs. You idiots.
Not your lucky day.
Seigneur, j'espère que je ne le connais pas.
Bloody hell.
I see you.
Nope. you that you want to leave your loot and spend it to me. That's really nice. Thank you. No, I don't have an upgraded sword, Treviso. It's yeah, it's not the dull saber anymore, because with the last mission where you kill Sivert, you get a weapon, an axe, and I don't want to use the axe, so I searched something similar to it in, regarding stats and something. I can show it to you if you want to. It's here. It's weapons, heavy. You get this axe. It's a 3-diamond round axe. This is what you get from the mission where you kill Sivert as reward, and because I don't want to use it, I have searched a saber, and you see it's not upgraded, it's only a 3-diamond saber. So yes, I don't use anymore the dull thing, and yeah, but I didn't upgrade my weapons or my equip, so...
Oh, je n'aurais pas dû manger autant. Bon, où est-ce que là?
That's not in the no upgrade light version. That should make it too easy. No, everything okay, Treviso. You weren't at home as I changed that, so cat food and a hot tin roof. Food hoarding smugglers on the rooftops of Paris. Okay. What's this here? Ugh. Free the farmers taken hostage by the food hoarders. Break into the food hoarders' warehouse and open it to all. Cat mission. Yeah. Okay. As a last desperate attempt to move foodstuffs to his warehouses, Foulon is transporting crates of flour across the rooftops of Paris near the Hotel de Ville and intercept them and eliminate the workers. Okay! Ugh. Really? Let me take a look. Yes, I think. Yeah, a little bit. Ah, yeah, welcome. Very spread it around the city.
Ferme les shops.
Combien m'en offrez-vous 70 vendu. Il n'y en aura pas pour tout le monde. Oui, monsieur, pour quelle quantité? Non, le drôle, le prix n'est pas négociable. Et du bon grain à vendre, 60 livres par sutier, c'est une occasion assez simple. Qui n'a pas son exemplaire? Déjà 40 000 lecteurs conviés. Quelle quantité? Non, le drôle, le prix n'est pas négociable.
Ah, that's too many. dudes on the roofs. Gotcha.
Wait a minute.
Stop him! That can't be good. Shit!
That's 5-star.
Je suis désolé, vraiment. Laissez-moi partir. Laissez-moi m'en retourner.
Ouch! Damn it!
So out! Sweet.
Always too late for my medicine. Damn it!
Cela ne cessera-t-il donc jamais?
Yeah. Saw too late that it's that it was a 5 diamond guy. Okay, wait, shop. Can I enter that?
Personne ne m'a parlé de charrette.
Contrôle de la bonne exécution de ces directives est confié aux officiers assermentés relatifs à ce domaine.
Te voilà bien philosophe.
Ici, que cette décision entrera en application
Is
dès
me
demain matin.
somewhere here.
Que s'agit-il?
Contrôle de la bonne exécution de ces directives et confié
Quel
aux
malade.
officiers assermentés relatifs à ce domaine. Ils se chargeront de vérifier.
Qui c'est qui est bourré?
Okay. Upstairs. Somewhere here's a chest. No? Ah, it's a red chest. Okay. Oh, damn! Where is he? Okay.
Hell was that? Bloody firework or something.
Oh,
Where's the prop?
For the real patriots!
Really?
Get the mongrel! And now for the
You're
fun
in the
bit.
way. Ha! Get ready. Let's go.
Sometimes, but only sometimes. Just because you are standing there. Really? Thank you. God damn. Okay, now, next. But first things first. are the moments even I get annoyed. So... 30 meters. Yes.
Filthy.
Shut up. Are this the only two left? Yes. I want to have a phantom blade. Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Luna.
Nope.
That's some new fashion.
So, more guys. But they are inside.
They string us up like sausages.
Come here, you! Look like you need a proper beating.
Don't cover. Can I enter here? Yes.
Go away.
You're no patriot.
I'll piss on your corpse, man.
Ouch! Okay. That worked. I know that would happen.
What was it?
Oh look, I can enter here.
Ha! There!
Tear off, you lot, go!
Can you please die now? Thank you. Yeah, wasn't it a cool escape? Yes. No, you go into a window. Okay. In what direction do I have to escape? Okay. I will run to that chest. That will solve my problem. Thank you. Kill criminals. Yes,
You knew this was coming and now you owe me. Right, I've had enough.
Tais-toi et regarde-moi.
So, now, oh, so late already. I go to here.
Bonjour, mon bon monsieur.
Grab my money from my chest. And after that, I will play another chapter of my story. Yeah. Teresa, it would be, it's your choice. The chapter I'm playing today is a really long one. The video is half an hour. So, yeah, your decision if you want to listen to all of it. It's with Maurice's voice, or as well as the yesterday and the day before. And yeah, for today I will stop playing Unity and will go on tomorrow, same time, same place. And yeah, I like Maurice's voice as well very much, and I hope he's doing me the favor to voice the other chapters as well. Hope he has
Another glorious
someday
day in Paris,
a little bit time for it, and yeah, that would be really cool. I would like to finish that little project, and yeah, we will see. And yeah, Treviso, I think we see each other at around 4 AM or something like that for Leo's stream. Are we really doing this? And yeah, I know that you will be. So now here, next chapter, half an hour. Have fun, and that it is for the stream today, and I say thank you and stay sneaky.
Creed ends. retreat begins. Paris, Port Saint-Denis, Cour des Miracles, May 1799. Tracing. Disgusted, Adelaide repeatedly wrinkled her nose. Even this scarf, which in addition to the hood covered her face up to the tip of her nose, was not capable of keeping the smell of the Cour des Miracles out. Just why were so many of the Brotherhood's informants found in this slum? Sighing softly, she gave herself the answer in her own mind. After all, it was beggars who always snapped information up everywhere. Eyes and ears begging on every corner could see and hear a lot. So let's go, in hopes that afterwards a hot bath is waiting for me. The renewed quiet sigh after that thought she could not resist. Since she had been unsuccessfully withdrawn from the Dorian mission, the Council tried in other ways to obtain information. This was not her first and certainly wouldn't be her last visit to the slums. Carefully and as skillfully as a supple cat, she swung herself from her vantage point and descended into the filthy alleyways, which seemed ever overpopulated. As many times before, her first point of reference was the villa of the Marquis de Sade, where he usually used to hold court. Since Dorian back then had helped him to gain the post of Roi de Thunes, he had come to the attention of the Brotherhood. A doubtful ally, certainly, but even so, most of the time quite useful. Even if Adelaide profoundly loathed her dealings with him, she could scarcely escape the task and duty. So she gave herself a start and overcame the house threshold with some unwillingness. As expected, the Marquis guessed on his usual challenge and let the always affecting look glide over the audience. Here, Adelaide was like an aristocrat in her outfit. That secured her the immediate attention of the Marquis. His radiant smile and warm arms spread out to her, her hair already standing on end. "Now, don't simply stand around the entrance there, my love. Come in, sit down, and enjoy a wine with me." Delivered across the room to her, this exclamation attracted less attention than Adelaide had suspected. With a renewed sigh, she placed herself gently in motion at an appropriate and secure distance from the Marquis and lowered her scarf. "Adelaide, my love, how long has it been now that you blinded me with your beauty and crushed my heart with your constant reaction of my advances?" This tone in his voice made her shudder and tighten her shoulders in a gentle defense. Obviously not long enough, if you still lament so heartily," she replied with some effort, albeit charmingly. "You nasty, nasty girl," the Marquis reproached, as he rose from his camp and stepped up to her. It took Adelaide all the willpower she had at her disposal not to retreat to the next wall before him. "But tell me you're not here to break my heart again, right? What can I do for you today?" As he asked, he moved closer to her, and his gaze wandered gloomily over her figure in trousers, boots, and assassin coat. She would have liked to let her blade do the talking now, but she knew only too well that she should not let this important source of information dry. So she just stepped back 2 steps away. At least, she tried to do it before she walked into someone at her back who had been able to miraculously appear there. Already an excuse on her lips, she turned around and looked into this well-known dark eyes. Once again, Dorian's mouth twitched, amused.
"My dear Marquis, you will not make a decent lady any advances to embarrass her."
The amused smile intensified briefly while Dorian walked around her and took one of the many wine cups from one of the tables. Adelaide felt the Marquis's gaze, still wanting to burn through her clothes, now still accompanied by the amused-looking gaze of Dorian. Sighing quietly, she did not declare this day to be one of her own and raised her hands defensively. "All right, I surrender myself beaten. Against 2 libidinous guys, even someone like me cannot compete. I clear the field and will come back to you later, Marquis, in the hope that you have satisfied your desire until then and have been capable of a reasonable conversation." The Marquis held his gaze where it was, and leaned gently toward Arnaud, who had leaned against the chaise-longue and sipped the wine, his eyes also resting on her. You were right, Arnaud. She really needed quite a while to come here. Either she is not as bright as we've estimated her, or she is infinitely proud and too haughty to use the obvious choice of information. Has she given up so quickly on you? Slightly puzzled, her gaze changed from the Marquis to Dorian and back again. How could they have known that the council would send her? The order had just been handed over to her this morning.
No, she was quite persistent, as my employees assured me. Even before my goodwill visit to Léon in Franciade, she was on observation posts, and her little speech was more impressive than that. Perhaps she is under too great pressure?
A short flicker of a grin before Dorian sipped on the wine again. The Marquis turned to her, smiling, and approached her again. So, my love, once again the question. What can I do for you? Adelaide thought furiously, and her gaze was finally resting on Dorian. She decided that she could not care what he noticed. After all, her mission was not a big deal, so why make a secret of a simple question? Jacques Bissot, do you know where I can find him? His trail got lost here in the Cour, and if anyone knows there can find someone who does not want to be found here, then you are. Waiting, she folded her arms in front of her chest and enjoyed the little piece of security that gesture gave her. Oh, she is so businesslike. That almost gives me a chill over the spine. What about you, Arno? Doesn't it thrill you as well? With these words, the Marquis again half turned to Dorian, while his gaze still adhered to Adelaide, like a bear's on honey. She almost did not dare look at Dorian. When she did, his facial expression was unclear, and he was silent on the Marquis's question. Jacques Bissot, Marquis, could you help me or not? She urged. Of course I can, the Marquis replied, amused. At least he turned away from her and let her breathe. Delicately he stretched out again on his chaise-longue and handed himself a fresh cup of wine. You find him in the sewers. He puzzled and plundered the secret hiding place of the former Roi. No idea what he hopes to find there, but he bare bones that our friend left behind at that time. Isn't that right, my dear Arnaud? Dorian just gave a humming His hood overshadowed what was not hidden from the wine cup. Was the memory of his former mission to him perhaps unpleasant? As you still know the way down, my dear Arnaud, wouldn't it be gallant gesture to accompany and protect the lady? After all, it's still dangerous down there. The Marquis's tone dragged on Adelaide's nerves. Excessively anxiously played, yet so loud that it would equate to a loss of face, to now grant a rejection. Thus, she hoped to do Dorian a favor with the excuse she offered him with her next words. I certainly belong to the last group of people in Paris who need protection. I can protect myself very well, but thank you for your offer, Marquis. I'll be fine. After all, Monsieur Dorian did it back then as well. With a sweet smile, she briefly tipped her head to the two men, who now both fixed her with unreadable glances. Before any of the two could reply, the assassin turned away and strove to exit. Outside, she breathed deeply, albeit cursing the idea at once because of the stench which now enveloped her.
One of the many entrances can be found right there. Come on. The faster we go down, the faster we can get out again.
The voice urged her ear unyieldingly as Dorian pushed past her into the outside. What do you think you're doing? And who the hell is we? She knew that it was amply dumb to ask these questions, but she simply could not suppress them. His dark eyes were barely visible under the hood and in the twilight of the streets, but she felt his attitude as if he were pressing her to his body. No matter what she would say or do, he had made a decision, and this he would follow.
Well, I'll be with you so I can remove 2 things from my list at the same time.
And what 2 things would those be, monsieur? She snapped, which again brought her a grin on his part.
Well, on the one hand, to find out what you want from the good Bissot, and secondly, who you are And what you want from me.
That self-assurance in his tone was slowly enervating. Did he only want to irritate her to the blood, or was he really so convinced of his uniqueness? Adela decided to put these questions behind and focus on the mission. Resolutely she turned on her heel and silently headed to the designated access point into the ground. She did not have to see his amused smirk to know it was there. Just arrived at the previously mentioned entrance, Dorian took leadership, unasked. Obviously, he actually seemed to remember the way he had taken years ago to find the Roy. Past several wooden shacks, it soon went down into the sewers. Adela knew again why she had grabbed her shawl today. If the stench above ground was already disgusting, it climbed down into the immeasurable down here. She tried to breathe flatly, not to notice too much. It was apparent she didn't really succeed.
As soon as we get to the former hiding place, the air will get a little better. Until then, just try to breathe flatter.
Dorian's voice had assumed a repose that she had not been able to identify. She simply left his advice alone in the room and followed him further into the depths. As they passed through one of the openings into the branching room behind, one of the many in Paris sewers, Adela stopped at Dorian's outstretched arm. Silently, he put a finger over his lips and nestled into the shadows of the passage they were about to leave. On the other side of the aisle, Adela made her way to the passage. She concentrated and spread her perception into the space beneath her. A deep breath, and she could feel Dorian doing the same thing. So the rumors were true. He was not only a gifted assassin, but he also had these special gifts, which only a few had in the Brotherhood. Like a mute response to their observation, their eyes crossed each other, and each of them knew what the other had just noticed. It was too dark to read the expressions in his eyes, but his hand signals were clear. They would divide the opponents perceived among them. Adela nodded silently and bent down to the crouch. Silently, she pushed herself to the border of the wooden platform and peered over her edge. There he was, a bull of a guy. She tilted her head gently, finding the best spot for her blade. A brief glance to the side assured her what she already knew. Dorian crouched by her side and had the other guy in his sights. A second short nod, and they jumped down in elegant synchronicity at their opponents. It was only in the jump that Adela extended her blade. The sound which caused it came much too late for her opponent, his reaction much too slowly. Without any obstacle, the sharpened blade slid into his throat, causing him to collapse instantly lifeless. He lacked even the time to make a single sound. A similar dull sound on her side showed her that Dorian's attack had been equally successful. That left the last two at the other end of the room. Adela remained in a crouching position and crept along the wall to one of the two opponents, who was warming his hands on a small fire. Without once again having to speak out, she could see from the corner of her eye that Dorian was acting similarly on the other side. As Adela stood still as a deadly shadow behind her goal, she briefly noted that Dorian was not quite so lucky. His prey turned too early to him and made a terrified exclamation. Adela did not hesitate for a second, drove the blade into her goal and prevented his scream by way of her hand over his mouth. She hurriedly turned to her last opponent just to watch Dorian's elegant kill. The blade slipped silently into the heart, while he also suppressed every other sound by means of a damping hand grip. Like a wet bag, the body eventually sank to its knees.
Sewers. They'll never be free from rats,
was the only mocking comment Dorian dropped. Adela left his comment simply so and looked around. Are these guys carrying anything interesting? Dorian wiped his blade on the coat of his last opponent and rose.
Define interesting.
Adela went to her crouch and patted down her last victim. Well, no idea, to be honest. Maybe some orders, keys, clues. Rats always find something.
Not quite wrong.
That prompted him to search their first two victims, but neither of them had any luck. Apparently only some poor souls at the wrong time and the wrong place. Adelaide sensed more when she heard her regret. There she was again. The always recurring question, had they really had to kill these men?
Down here there are no innocent souls. Do not torture yourself with such thoughts.
She turned her gaze to Dorian's dark shadow shape. The small fire flickered and made his recognizable features look distorted. She felt a hesitation at him before he suddenly lifted his arm and squeezed her shoulder briefly. Before she could react appropriately, the moment was over. He turned his back on her and urged deeper into the darkness of the sewers. After some windings, branching rooms and platforms, they finally reached their destination without any further incident. The hiding place of the former Roi was a dome-shaped, circular room, plumbed with all sorts of home accessories, seeming a palace. Somehow the room seemed to be anything but relied upon for years. Adelaide and Dorian looked for shadow cover and explored the room. There was an unexpected busy activity. A whole army of men not only scoured the room, but seemed to use it as a kind of headquarters. Apparently, under the nose of the new Roi, a conspiracy ensued. Adelaide thought about why the Marquis had spoken so willingly to her. The guess was that Desart knew very well about the situation down here and once again meant to use the assassins to solve his problems. Dumbly, she glanced at Dorian in his cover and could see from his cramped jaw muscles that he had probably drawn the same conclusion. His gaze crossed hers, suggesting a temporary retreat to discuss their strategy. As soon as they had enough distance between themselves and the headquarters, Dorian gave a more than filthy curse.
He really dares to do it again, and again, that lousy...
The rest of his sentence he pinched himself from completing, when he remembered that he was in the company of a lady, at least as far as his mind was concerned. Adelaide felt that he reflected her own anger, but she forced herself to clear her thoughts. Nonetheless, my goal is somewhere among them, and if the aims of the Brotherhood overlap with those of the Marquis, then it is probably once again so. The question is, how do I get to be so without a small war? She crossed her arms in front of her chest and began to pace back and forth.
Well, fact is, you can't do it alone.
Dorian's tone was unmistakable, and she could feel his stubbornness almost physically, causing her to stop her pacing and to fix his eyes. This is not your fight. I did not ask you to stand by my side, and you do not have to continue. The goals of the Marquis overlap with my own, not with yours. Therefore go, and let your anger out on him. For you it should not have the same consequences as for me. I managed this somehow. The silence that followed her words was deep, long, and filled with heaviness. It drove an uncomfortable feeling down over her spine, and she had the sensation of sinking into a sort of grief. It was too dark to be able to see Dorian's eyes, but the bitter train around the corner of his mouth told his own story.
I once let someone go alone in a fight. I will not repeat that mistake.
Like two stubborn donkeys, the two assassins stood facing each other and tried in mutual stupor to move each other to back down. Adelaide felt that there was much more in his words when he said. This seemingly oppressive heaviness overwhelmed more and more, like a kind of shroud over both their statures. And so it was she who, yielding again, lowered her head and sighed softly. All right, then. If you want to die today, so be it. I just hope you do not look for me as a ghost. That actually brought quiet laughter from her counterpart.
What makes you so sure that it will be my death which we find here? And if I swear to not visit you as a ghost, then I ask for the same promise in return.
Adelaide could not help but answer these words likewise with a soft laugh. She raised her gaze to him and for the first time imagined something like a gentle pull around the corners of his mouth. Did she actually slowly begin to like him? Let's go, brother. There are a few bad men waiting for us. The words followed a renewed flash of his short, charming grin and a mute nod. Dorian had led them both to the passage behind which his target had been waiting for him, heightened over the entire room. Adelaire had to entitle him the right. This was the optimal place to get an overall view of the situation. The two assassins flattened themselves on the stone floor of the pedestal and explored the space below. For the purpose of a whisper, they were close together and cupped each other their ideas on their ears. Adelaire, after a while, had to force herself to concentrate on the mission. The extreme proximity irritated her, and she argued in the mind with herself that she paid more attention to Dorian's warmth, his breath, and the tactile play of muscles on her side, more than the movements of her enemies beneath her. Finally, they decided to empty the room some by using the berserk poison in their phantom blades. Adelaire sought a tough opponent to her left, while Dorian did the same on the right side of the pedestal. Twice a faint click followed by the siren of the berserk blade, the dull noise of the two hits, and the tumult among the ones below began. It amused Adelaire every time when she could observe the effect of the berserk poison, how their opponents got to slashing each other and virtually took over her work. Early on, she had learned to be patient with such actions and to allow the poison to perform its impact. Too early intervention on their part would only diminish the desired effect. Because of the mass of men, however, that effect was much too fast and the two victims were quickly overwhelmed. Time to give the field a little rest and look for the next targets. The assassins threw their tactics up 3 times until the enemy field had reduced to a few men. Other groups were too far away for the phantom blades as well as for poison bombs. So it was that they now had to rely on handwork. With a nod, they swung themselves to the right and left of the platform, sinking their hidden blades with synchronous air assassination into the unaware, waiting enemies below them. Smoke bombs filled the room, and Adelaire clarified her vision through her senses. Pulsating, she made out her casting opponents, and one after the other they fell victim to her blade or rapier. Her movements seemed more like a dance than a fight, and she almost led herself to the hum of a soft melody. As the smoke slowly moved, she met up with Dorian again in the middle of the room, now breathing a little heavier. Shortly a grin flashed in both their faces as he suddenly grabbed her around the waist and turned with her. His blade cut through an opponent who had tried a desperate onslaught. Adelaire's attention swarmed through the room, and she registered just a few more shooters. Using the momentum of her joint rotation, she pulled her pistol and came before the attack from above. The crash of the 8-barrel resounded in the doom-like space, and let a silence follow which gave an idea of what would happen next. The two assassins broke apart and turned their backs against each other. The rapier in the one and the hidden blade extended in the other, Adelaire faced the onslaught which encountered her from one of the channels of the sewer. Newly thrown smoke bombs filled the rooms, and an attack, dodge, parry began his dance again. In all this chaos, Adelaire tried to capture her goal, but so far Bissot had no trace. Had they put themselves in danger for nothing? When the smoke cleared again, Adelaire slowly retreated into the middle of the room, facing her final 3 opponents. She heard Dorian more when she felt him at her back. It seemed as if there were not too many opponents left facing him. The first of the last 3 men attacked Adelaire and got her rapier. The second supposed to see his chance and ended up with her hidden blade in him. She wanted to eliminate the last with her pistol, but was surprised by missing ammunition. Could she really not actually count correctly? Still caught in that thought, an arm stretched out over her shoulder and Dorian's phantom blade landed a clean headshot. Her life saved twice in one day. If she did not owe him something now, then when? Breathing heavily, she straightened up and felt his chest lift and lower at her back, as breathless as she was. For her taste, he was far too close to her, and his breath brushed her face, too intensely noticeable.
Everything okay?
He whispered softly near her ear. Why did she suddenly have such a lump in her throat? The assassin just nodded and put her rapier back in the belt. She emphasized a step away from Dorian and looked around searchingly. Merde! Bon sang! Where is Bissot? She cursed softly. Behind her, Dorian also put his sword back into his belt, and his tone sounded amused as he answered.
Should a lady really curse in such bawdy terms?
Should a lady feel like she killed 30 men? She snapped back. He answered with a grin.
Touché. That probably depends on the lady.
Well, you see. His tactical patterning, which glided up and down, she pushed aside skillfully as she searched among the men for someone who was still capable of answering. A low whine finally led her to a half-dead soul. Unyieldingly, she grabbed the guy by the collar and pulled him closer. Bissot, Jacques Bissot, where can I find him? Whimpering and whining, the half-dead man raised his hands defensively, and after another threatening look, he pointed towards stacked boxes at the edge of the room. Thank you. Adelaide smiled sweetly and let the man go. When she got up, she turned her back on the whimpering thing and thought briefly. Her eyes met Dorian's, and her decision came to maturity. With an elegant twist, she sank again to her knees and finished the man with the blade. Dorian was right. No one down here was innocent. And leaving behind witnesses had never been a good idea. The two assassins mutely returned to the crates and found a passage to another room behind them. Adelaide pulled out her pistol and reloaded it. Then she snuggled herself to the doorkeeper and sent her perception into the room beyond. Dorian did the same. A test of the door handle revealed what they had already suspected. Locked. Dorian crouched down and began to crack the lock. As the last bar snapped softly, he gave the door a gentle push. Still in the uplift, Adelaide stepped past the still crouching assassin and scanned the room with pistol and sensors. She did not have to look to know Dorian was ready to fight. Her objective was hiding behind one of the chairs and screamed in horror at the opening door. Oh no, please do not! I have done nothing. Desart is wrong when he thinks I'm conspiring against him. I just want to build my own small business, and why let it all degenerate here? Please, please do not kill me. All this and still more he whimpered, whining, while Adelaide slowly passed through the room. When she arrived at Bissot, she put her gun back into the holster and looked at him despairingly. She sensed that Dorian was following her and was busy observing the room. Reassure yourself, we are not here to kill you. And if your men out there had not been so stubborn, they could still be alive. I have only a few questions. The lanky man with the crooked powdered wig dared to move slowly out of his hiding place. Adelaide, demonstrative, stepped back a few steps, leaving enough space to stand up and straightened himself. Nervously, Bissot tapped the dust from the coat-tails before he once again dared to muster the two assassins. Well, I guess, if my death had been decided by assassins, then I'd be dead already. His gaze fixed on Dorian, who in the meantime leaned, with his arms folded, against the sideboard on the opposite wall.
Do not look at me like that. This is the lady's contract, not mine.
With which he raised a hand defensively before he restored the entanglement of the arms. So, what do you want to know, mademoiselle? His voice now sounded officious and regardful. Adelaide did not trust him for a second. Emmanuel Joseph Ziers, what can you tell me about his plans? Adelaide did not like, as her counterpart, frightened and in shock, seemed to lose all attitude from his face. He started a babbling stuttering regarding his lack of knowledge about anything, and about how he would have to deal with such high-ranking people. By the end of her patience, she grabbed him by the collar and pressed him to the nearest wall. With an almost aggressive snarl, her hidden blade sank from the bracer and poked his skin just above the carotid artery. I'm really a patient girl, but I do not like it if you try to cheat me or unnecessarily raise tension. So, I advise you, monsieur, do not overstretch it, and tell me what you know. Her voice was lowered to a soft growl, recalling the hissing of a wild cat. She sensed her temperament deep inside and knew that the last attempts to curb it were already crushing away. Yes, all right, I'm already talking, even if I know nothing concrete. I have never seen or read any plans. All I know are whispered rumors on corridors that spread lies. But they are true, Sierra is planning a sort of coup d'etat. He is supposed to make it clear that he is looking for a sword, which is supposed to be as short as possible. Whatever he may have meant, he wants to meet General Joubert as soon as he is back in Paris. More, I really do not know, honestly, promised. With a characteristic snap, her blade slid back into the bracer, and she let Bissot go. With a gentle smile and a snappy, "Merci, mon ami," she finally turned away from the wailing creature. As she passed Dorian, he stopped her.
Do you have everything you need from him?
His eyes fixed the pile of misery and did not let it out of sight. Yes, I think so. He no longer works for CS. Personally, I hardly believe that he can provide more up-to-date information. However, I dare not assess how the council sees this. Something about his attitude made her wary at her words and almost did not need her next question. Why do you ask? And she was right. Before she could intervene, his arm stretched out and a new, clean headshot of the phantom blade made Bissot lifeless. Dorian's eyes crossed hers. The lines around the angles of his mouth were hard.
Because I, contrary to you, had the mission not to let him escape from this situation alive. I just wanted to make sure our goals were not in conflict.
Adler held his gaze steadily. So, are you now no more than a hired assassin who can be engaged at any time by a disgusting subject like the Marquis de Sade to eliminate his enemies? Dorian pushed away from the sideboard and lowered his arms to his sides. Adler noticed how his hands closed into fists, and the fire in the room reflected in his gaze.
You should be more careful with your judgments, Mademoiselle Fontaine. Not everything is always as it seems at first sight. The Marquis had an still open favor for me, which he has herewith redeemed. How this fits into my personal morals is none of your concern.
There they were again, the two Tabandangis who were looking at each other and pressed the other to give a piece of ground. This time it was Dorian who cleared the field.
It was really nice to work with you. You really are damned well educated. You will certainly get very far in the Brotherhood. Good day, Mademoiselle Fontaine.
In the next moment, with a gallant bow, he went past and out of the room. Adela looked after the vanished shadow for a little while, and did not know whether she should get angry or laugh. She decided on neither of the two, and left the battlefield in carnage that two well-trained assassins were capable of leaving behind.